it can make you be better at pushing forward rather than allowing the conveyor belt of life that pushes you forward slowly to just get you through it. You are pushing forward to solve these problems and get through it and become a better, more well-rounded individual. Hi, welcome to Health in Mind. My name is Salvador, and in this video we're going to be talking about psychological self-imprisonment and black and white thinking. So this is going to be one of those free flow kind of videos. So if you enjoyed this or find this information helpful or useful to you, or you even have anything to add to this, definitely be sure to comment, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of content. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So, psychological self-imprisonment. I don't know if this is a term that's been coined by anybody or anything like that. That's just kind of how I envisioned what this is. But basically, what I mean when I say psychological self-imprisonment, and I'll get to how it has to do with black and white thinking, is I don't want to say action because it's more of a mental thing, but I'll just say action for lack of a better term. The action of putting a label on a specific behavior or characteristic or attribute, and it causing you to not go outside of that label. So I know that sounds kind of confusing the way I worded it, but if I were to give an example, one that has really been difficult for me to get around, or that I've noticed myself struggling with, is I'm a person that has very severe ADHD, and I have to take medication for it. Well, I don't have to, but it's very helpful for me to take my medication. And I notice my behavior when I don't take my medication and when I do, and the difference between the two. So what can happen, like in this example, is that I will notice the drastic difference between myself with and without medication. And I notice how much more efficient I am at getting things done and being on task and doing things the way that I want and prefer to do them when I take my medication. So then I put a label on it. You can do this and that when you take your medicine. And then when you don't take your medicine, you are not able to do this and that because you're going to be distracted. So that's where the danger comes in of black and white thinking. Because when you put the label of you can do this when you do this, or you can't do this when this happens, then what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for, it could be success, but it could also definitely be failure. And for more times than not, the black and white thinking has led to setbacks. And that's why I call it self-imprisonment, is because you are becoming a slave to the label that you are putting on yourself or your own characteristics or whatever. Another one might be, I can't get an attractive partner because I don't look this way or whatever, because you may have experience in the past some people not liking you and you feel like it's because of the way that you look or something like that. That's psychological self-imprisonment, because you're telling yourself that you are not able to get somebody that you find is attractive because of this, which is not true. But when you put the label on it, then it almost becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because then your brain looks for that to happen again in order to confirm what it has already recognized. And it can become a very dangerous loop, because the more and more you recognize it and it becomes like true to you, or you see it as true, the more you're going to like mentally approve that information or that concept, so that you're like, okay, yep, I was right, this is true. Like confirmation bias, but for yourself. So yeah, I really wanted to talk about how dangerous that is, because it can really hold you back. And again, that's why I call it psychological self-imprisonment. You're doing it to yourself, but in a way you're imprisoning yourself, because you're putting yourself in this box, in this category, and it can cause you to feel like you can't go outside of it, when really you can. Maybe it's a little bit harder than you think, but that doesn't mean it's impossible and that you can't do it. And that can really set you back in life, especially when you are trying to do things and the circumstances in which you are trying to do them in may be changing. Like, for example, if the pharmacy runs out of my medication, then I can't just say, oh, well, guess I can't work, guess I can't do anything productive at all. Like, that's not how the world works. You're going to have multiple different environments that are going to be changing, And if you put a label on what you're able to and you're not able to do, then you're going to set yourself up from failure a lot of times. So I'll give another example that I've seen very frequently with people that are very depressed is that I can't get up out of my bed. I can't clean my room. I can't get up and eat. And that's a black and white label that you put on your abilities, and it's very dangerous because then you notice yourself doing it again and again, and because you're more likely to do it, there's a higher chance that it's going to happen over and over again. And then when you start to say it and mentally like affirm it, it just becomes more and more ingrained in you, and it becomes less and less likely that you can kind of get out of that mental prison. Because if you are really depressed, it's not that you just physically are unable to do those things, maybe unless you have some kind of physical disorder that prevents you from doing so. But if you are physically able to do them, the only thing that is stopping you, and I'm not trying to say, if you're depressed, just do this, because I know that's not how it works. However, saying that it is impossible to do this is going to set you up for failure. So having that black and white thinking of, I'm incapable of this or I'm incapable of that is going to prevent you from being able to actually do that. When in reality, like, it's perfectly possible. It just takes a little bit more effort. And the thing is when you prove to yourself that you are able to do something that you previously thought you were incapable of before, that just makes it that much more of an accomplishment and fulfilling. If I have really big trouble getting things done without my medication, and I don't have my medication for a day, but I still try really, really, really hard, and it takes a lot more energy than it normally would out of me to do it, but I get everything done on my list of things to do for the day, then I'm going to feel really accomplished afterward, because I'm like, man, I really thought that I was not going to be able to do this, because it's normally a lot more difficult for me to do things without my medication, but I did it. And I know that these examples are very specific to me, but that's the best way that I can give them to you. When you have something you think you are unable to do, and as probably cliche as it kind of sounds, the more you should probably try to do it. That doesn't mean that you should just switch things over and do what you know you're not good at only, and only focus on the things you're not good at, because then you may not efficiently get things done. However, if there's some way that you want to change, or in some way that you are dissatisfied, what you should try to do is, even if you really genuinely think it's not possible, is to just try it, or just say that you can. Even if you really don't believe it, just say, okay, maybe I can do this, or hypothetically I could, and then just go for it and actually try it. And it may not happen the first time, may not even happen the second time, or the third, or the fourth, or the fifth. But if you keep trying at it, then eventually it will happen where you do the thing that you did not think you were able to do, that you had mentally imprisoned yourself with. And that's very important, because it teaches you how to overcome challenges in life and not just do the things that are easy to you. Because doing things that are easy is like, what's the fun in that? What enjoyment do you get out of life if every single thing is easy? Life is going to be hard sometimes, and there's going to be challenges that you have to overcome, and learning to overcome these challenges, especially intentionally and not just because you are forced to, is really going to make you better at growing as a person in the areas that you were deficient in. So yeah, I didn't really have a whole lot to add other than that, and I'm sorry that my wording can be kind of poor on this. It's really hard for me to put words sometimes on the concept that I'm trying to explain. But yeah, when you put black and white, just thinking labels on what you are capable of and incapable of, it can prevent you of overcoming difficulties. And if you intentionally try, even if you're not able to, you can at least say you tried. If you are able to try and overcome the things that you think you are maybe deficient in, that you think you just can't do, or that are chances are slim to none that you are able to do them, that doing that will really increase your ability to overcome difficulty in life, even when you are not forced to. It can make you be better at pushing forward rather than allowing the conveyor belt of life that pushes you forward slowly to just get you through it. You are pushing forward to solve these problems and get through it and become a better, more well-rounded individual. But Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Definitely be sure to leave a like and subscribe again. If you want to see more of these types of videos, let me know. If you prefer the like bullet point kind of videos where there's lots of cuts in them, just tell me that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you all for watching. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you in the next video.